Hello everybody, welcome to our next player card review for the Dream Eater cycle. Today we're going to be talking about the Search for Kadath Mythos pack. Let's dive right in and start talking about First Watch. This is a one-cost tactic event that commits for a book or a foot symbol. Fast, play when the draw and counter card step of the Mythos phase would begin. Instead of resolving that step, look at the top X cards in counter deck where X is the number of investigators. Deal those cards among the investigators as you wish, dealing no more than one card to each investigator other than yourself. Then, one at a time, each investigator draws the cards dealt to them.
Cards look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously scales with player count. Like, if you're playing two players, maybe this card isn't quite so great anymore, but, like, more than two players, this card's pretty awesome.
I never feel safer than when you guys play this card. I feel so safe. I'm like, this is great. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me this time.
It wouldn't hurt me.
Yeah, they wouldn't, and you guys haven't. You haven't.
No, this is really nice for as much as like it kind of annoys me that another color gets Mythos deck manipulation when that's supposed to be more of a purpley thing.
Yeah, this is like traditionally also a kind of a blue thing now.
Yeah, it's like the second card they've got that does this. I think.
Like third card that manipulates Mythos cards, not necessarily the deck, but.
Yeah, no, like I'll handle this one is like the kind of manipulation I like to see, like reactive manipulation, not necessarily like proactive, but it kind of makes sense. It makes sense flavorfully, so. Yeah. Anyway. It's really good for Guardians because, you take the monsters, you give the shitty brain and foot and book tests to the people who are good at those, and everybody's happy.
Yeah. And if you want to flex, play it solo. Like, if you really want to show the game that you don't care what it does, just play this.
Check this out, game. I paid a resource so that you can play like normal.
Yeah, I just think I agree with Brandon. At like 3+ players, it gets like really juicy. 2 is fine, but I mean, like, you're gonna be drawing those. I mean, like, yeah, you're gonna be drawing those cards anyway in 3 players, but like, you're really not with this because more control. Like, there's more cards. You can really divvy it out in a way that's like good for the group, as opposed to, sure, you take this, I'll take that, right?
Also, like the upside of like your fighter might not be at the same location as you.
Yeah,
doesn't exist so much playing two-handed.
Yeah, definitely.
Like generally you have 2 very specialized investigators and you kind of just keep them within a location of each other the entire scenario. So it's much less of a like, oh, Justin's on the other end of the world. Guess I better draw this Gug instead.
All right. Next blue card is Daring. This is an innate skill that commits for 3 wild symbols. Commit only to a skill test during an attack or evasion attempt against an enemy. That enemy gains Retaliate and Alert for the duration of the skill test. After this test ends, draw 1 card. Card's great.
Yeah, I love this card, especially since you get to draw the card even if you fail.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, most enemies that are big enough for you to want to use this on have Retaliate anyway.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Hit you twice? That's not how the rules work.
Yeah. Nice try, Gug. One thing I also have learned that because Silas can play this, you still get to draw the card even if you return it to your hand, which is because the text there of after this test ends, draw 1 card.
Yeah,
it's
good.
It's a great, it's a strong card, and it's and you're gonna know if you want it in your deck, and it's usually if you're blue and you want to kill monsters.
Yeah, plus, what the hell kind of test are you trying where with +3 you failed it?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, this one's you're kind of like, I'm passing this test unless, like, I draw the auto-fail. So just don't draw the auto-fail when you play this card. That's my advice.
Yeah, that would suck.
Next up.
It's good advice.
We got the Dream Diary. So this is the untranslated version. We're going to get to the juicier cards later for this one. This is a 2-cost asset that comes for a brain symbol, takes up a hand slot. It's an item, tome, and a charm. As an action, search your bonded cards for Essence of the Dream and add it to your hand. After you succeed a skill test by 3 or more during a After succeed by 3 or more during a skill test to which Essence of the Dream is committed, record in your campaign log that you have interpreted the dreams. Essence of the Dream is commits for 2 wild symbols. It's a skill. When Essence of the Dream would enter your discard pile or be shuffled into your deck, instead set Essence of the Dream aside out of play with your bonded cards.
So the basic version of this one is like pretty good, and it's also not that hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, the upgrade versions, are like really, really good.
Yes. Those are in the point of no return. So if that video is already uploaded, you can find it in the playlist that's at the end of this video, and I believe to the side over here. You can find the point of no return if it's already uploaded, where we'll talk about this in further detail. But as Travis is saying, like, this one is still all right for an untranslated version, because sometimes you have a dead action and you can just like grab it, or you can just make it a priority, and then when you upgrade it, it becomes really juicy.
Yeah, plus you only really need to succeed the skill test by 1 or more, because the Essence of the Dream gives you 2.
Yep.
So it's not... 3 might seem like a slightly daunting number, but it really isn't.
Yeah, because it's any skill test. It's not like...
Yeah, you have to be the one performing it.
Yeah.
But,
So just investigate a location. You're yellow. You're going to be great at that anyway. You have like 4 or 5 printed. Let's go.
Yeah, your intellect is already super high.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Followed. This is a 2-cost tactic event that commits for a book and a foot. Investigate. Choose an enemy at your location. You get +1 book for this investigation for each damage on the chosen enemy to a maximum of +5 book. That's a lot of book. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location. This action does not provoke attacks of opportunity from the chosen enemy. Wow, it turns it on its head. You're following the monster. Wow.
Yeah, this card is just like a different avenue for a combat-focused character to be able to gain clues.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I think it's like above average in goodness, but like not super good.
I just like the idea of Mark Harrigan playing this, and he's just like beating the piss out of someone, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And they tell him, and he's like, "Yeah, I followed that guy."
Yeah.
Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, like you also don't need to be the one engaged with it.
That's
your
also
player
true.
could just had damage on it or something.
So kind of like if you play like even like our 3-player group, this is good in like if you have a rogue who is kind of just filling the niche role, right? Like you can just pop in and be like, "Hey, you bloody man, I'm gonna take these 2 clues. See ya," and like then the guardian just kills the dude, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not like because to me, like I read it and I'm like, oh, this is never gonna work. But with Travis's point there, I'm like, oh yeah, I could see that being like a thing. Yeah, let's do it.
It's also probably pretty solid if you're playing a survival knife bill.
Oh yeah.
Where you can just like beat them down to like 1 or 2 hit points and then
grab a
like,
clue,
I'm gonna get your clues
and then kill them before they attack
anyway.
you. Yeah, definitely. All right. What's next? Momentum. This is a 1 experience skill that's practiced and commits for a wild. If this skill test is successful, reduce the difficulty of the next skill test you perform this phase by X, where X is the amount of this skill test succeeded by to a maximum of 3.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of this one. Obviously, there's some really cool stuff you could do with it, like playing a shotgun turn. Where you're just like, yeah, so it turns out this guy actually doesn't have any fight.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's worth the experience bit.
Yeah, I'm with that as well. I kind of like, after trying out Hatchet Man, and a card that you need to play to make your next card better seems low value to me. I'd rather just my card do something good.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously, like, with the all-in decks, or the succeed by X or more decks, you're already trying to do the thing that this card wants.
Yeah, so I think in a case like that, like, when you're building around it, it probably has a nice home there. But if I'm just looking at, like, this card as its own, Like
Yeah,
this is
this is so far from an auto include.
yeah, it's like one of those things where it's kind of obvious for us to just say this card works in the deck that it's built for, but like part of the review is also kind of just like looking at this card and being like, don't play this just because you're green, right? Like
it might be neat in some sort of Trish practice makes perfect deck.
Yeah.
Where you could just be like, this skill's easy, but so is this one and the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Travis, any thoughts or just green card?
Yeah, it's just kind of a green card. Like, I think that it could be neat in some kind of combo deck. Like,
yeah.
It's meant to set up for big, like, succeed by 2 or more turns.
Yeah.
I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really care about
you get to commit this one to the succeed by X or more test that you're doing right now, but it's also like you get to commit this and another one of the skill cards that were committed to that succeed by X or more to the next succeed by X or more you make this turn.
So it's like 2 X or mores in one.
Yeah, so like that's...
Yeah, I think this card
maybe
was a
good.
top-down design for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, flavorfully, it makes a lot of sense. You're like, you do something good, and then you get to do other things good, too.
Oh, yeah.
You run away from one enemy,
sweet.
and then, like, you're already running, so it's easier to run away from the other ones.
Yeah, like flavor, this one's like really good. Like you just feel momentum in it. It's great for that. And then your momentum is drawing the red shit, and you fall on your face, and everyone's like, "Ooh, dang, Steve, you okay?"
Yes.
Scroll of Prophecies. This is a 3-cost item tome asset that commits for a brain symbol and takes up a hand slot. It uses 4 secrets as an action. Spend 1 secret. Choose an investigator location. That investigator draws 3 cards, then discards 1 card from their hand.
You ever fire up the old book of lore and you're like, I want all of these?
Yeah.
Because, like, that could be this.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly,
Cards in your deck.
like, it reads good, right? Like, you draw 3 cards, discard 1. Like, that's good.
I played this card once in a double or nothing Safina deck. It was pretty solid. Like, if my mulligan didn't have double or nothing in it, this card's pretty solid at going to go find it.
I think a big thing with, I mean, like, obviously you use, like, this card's, like, really good in Daisy, right? Because a big thing about Arkham Horror, the card game, is you don't really have time to sometimes just do things, right? You always have to be pushing the game forward, otherwise you will fall behind. And drawing 3 cards is really good, but sometimes you don't have time. So with Daisy, you get it for free. You can just draw 3 for free a turn. Like, that's really nice.
What if you attach this to Abigail Foreman and you get to draw 6 cards and discard 2?
Oh my God. That's also a lot of cards. It's so many. But yeah, I think, like, I don't see anything
It's
wrong
like the
with
most
this
Travis
card.
thing of all time.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong
like,
with
in
it.
spite of how much I like drawing cards, I'm actually, like, not as hot on this card as Bryn is. I don't know why. It's just, it's like a lot of resources and actions to, like, filter the deck.
So I think where this deck shines is if you're an event-focused, like, purple playing deck where you have cards that do whatever you need them to, but you need to find the right ones at the right time. This helps, like, firstly, keep your hand full of cards that could do something, but also helps you find the ones you need.
Yeah, it's like, is it better than Arcane Initiate? I guess if you're playing lots of rituals.
Yeah, it depends what the card you're trying to find is.
Yeah, because...
and also, like, secondly, if you're playing a skill-heavy deck, this card just puts more skill cards into your hand.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's what's also holding me back on it is just, like, because, like, the ability is good, but just the amount of time it takes to get the full value out of it. But I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's not for everybody. There's the little rider that's on the majority of these cards for these reviews, but yeah. Let's go on. What's next? Read the Signs. This is a 2-cost spell event that commits for a brain in a book. Investigate, add your brain value to the skill value for this investigation. You may ignore any effect or keyword on your location which would trigger during this investigation. I did not know that text was on this card, and I already thought it was really good. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location.
Yeah, this card is just, like, really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's strong.
It's good.
Yeah. Like, I can see I could see it being cut for other cards in purple if you're not upgrading, but I think the card's great, and you can just ignore any investigation triggers. Like, there's some really rough ones in later scenarios for, like, most of the cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jessica Hyde, otherwise known as the Fixed Pete Sylvester. She is a 3-cost, 1 experience, ally, wayfarer, cursed asset that commits for a fist symbol. You get +1 fist. Jessica Hyde enters play with 2 damage on her, and she has 3 meat damage and 1 brain damage. After your turn ends, heal 1 damage from Jessica Hyde. Card's good. And fair. I think that's also an important thing to say.
Yep.
It's a shame that Pete exists, because you still just play him more often than not. If you want to be a brawly red,
Well, they fill
she's
different
great for that.
things, different niches.
Yeah. But
This is like a good option in like min, I guess.
Just to have that damage soak that she provides, that would be really good there, yeah. I just think she's just really good and really fair.
Yeah. If you play a Charisma Preston deck, you could have both of them in play and just shrug off damage forever.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of neat.
That would be neat.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah. What do we think of the cycle as a whole? Do we recommend this to new players? If you're not new players, rather. If you're looking to pick up cards, what would we recommend this cycle for? Do they pick it up? Is there anything really worth it?
Like, the blue cards are really good in this one.
Oh, what are you doing here? Of the Dream? Get out of there.
Yeah, and the yellow one is like
very strong.
Yeah, well, it's not like the most powerful thing ever. You do need it in order to get to something down the road that is very strong.
Yeah, like the only card here I think that like I couldn't see myself really playing is Momentum.
Yeah, I think everything else
I'd
is
recommend
playable.
this one.
Yeah.
This one's good. I'm a fan.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys for our next card set review, which should be 1,000 Shapes of Horror, I think it's called. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good one. And as always, GG's.